Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a brand new video and a brand new series on co-op multiplayer with Daggerwin, and this map is called Survival4X or x4, which is basically a massive, huge x4 size map, so it's 4 times larger than the standard base game map, and it's basically just a wasteland, a bit like No Man's Land and the other one, I've forgotten the name of it now, the one we played at the end of FS25 that a lot of you enjoyed. It's just basically a start from scratch map, so we're starting with some machinery, some vintage machinery, but apart from that nothing else. And 2 plots of land. We've got 2 small plots of land somewhere over here. Daggerwin's just set the game up, so I'm just following him. We're going to head through the wilderness into the unknown. I really don't know. I've never been over there. I don't know what we're doing. I've not seen any of the map. I've literally just joined the server. I was trying to set up the voice chat with Daggerwin through the in-game voice chat, but for some reason I can hear Daggerwin fine through the microphone, but he can't hear me. I've got everything set up correctly in the options as far as I can tell in the control settings. I've got the push to talk. It detects my voice coming through on the screen. It comes up with my name on the screen when I talk, but Daggerwin can't hear me for some reason, even though he's got his volume turned up and I've got my volume turned up. I could hear Daggerwin speak to me, but I can't hear him, so it's a bit of a shame. I wanted to try and use the voice chat a bit more this time, but I'm not sure what to do about that. We've both got our controls all set up correctly as far as I can see, but no, it doesn't work from my end, so it's a bit strange. I can hear him, but he can't hear me. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, just following Daggerwin over to the first area that we're going to work on. Well, the only area we can work on at the moment, because we only have this one area to work at the moment until we can afford to buy some more. As you can see, we're starting with 0 in the bank account, so we have no money, but we do have some, like I say, some small equipment, otherwise it would be impossible. We have to have something to start with. And the other major change this series, this obviously is not a competitive series, this is a co-op series, so it's not, we're not competing with each other at all. But yeah, the major change for this series, to make it a bit more challenging, is we're only allowed to purchase used equipment from the used sale, which really does limit... Oh, my brakes didn't work very well there. I got quite a lot of weight on. I wasn't expecting him to just stop. Yeah, I'm towing 2 trailers plus some weights and stuff, so it's quite a lot of weight there for this small tractor anyway. I think he's lost. Is he lost? Where are we? No, we're very close to our land. 15 and 16 we own, so yeah, not too far to go. In fact, I think we might be on the edge of it here. Of course, we have no yard. We don't have any equipment or any like yard equipment or buildings. We just have some tractors. Okay, here we are. Okay, right. So we can bring some more equipment over. Yeah, the brakes on this tractor don't work very well. Alright, just tubbing back to the yard, or the shop. This isn't our yard, this is the sort of shop area. So yeah, this is the combine that we're starting with. So it's a very small New Holland combine here. We don't actually have any fields, of course. We have to create our own fields, because it is obviously start from scratch. So we have no fields, no yard, no buildings, so we have to create some fields out of the wasteland that we've got, and then we can harvest them. But we have started with a combine, otherwise we probably wouldn't be able to afford to buy one anytime soon. But it's only a very small old combine, this. I have to try and remember where we went last time. I think it was up this way, wasn't it? Still learning the area yet. We're heading in the right direction here. So yeah, we have some trees, we have some wasteland, some this sort of scrubland. And then yeah, we need to make some fields, sell some wood, cut some trees, sell some wood, and try and make a bit of money to actually start progressing. But yeah, like I say, just while I show you this is all we can buy. We can only buy from the used vehicle sale. We'll see how this goes. I don't know how challenging this is going to make it, but yeah, luckily we do start with some equipment, so we're not going to be totally stuck, because that would be bad. The main reason I think Daggerwin wanted to start with sort of one of everything, of small equipment, is because otherwise if we couldn't find anything in the used sale, if nothing came up for sale, we would literally be stuck for days and days on end, and it would be pretty much disastrous. We have to be able to do something. So yeah, we've started with small equipment, but if we want to upgrade, the only way to upgrade is to buy used, and it has to be in the sale. So at the moment, if we had the money in the account, we could buy a Fiat tractor or some of these equipment. Not much point buying things like this at the moment though, because we don't have any means of running it. So yeah, we've got to be very strategic about what we do here. But it should be fun. I hope it should be fun anyway, and I hope you'll enjoy watching it. We'll see how it goes. It's something we've not done before, as a rule. We've never had a series before where we don't buy new equipment. We can't just pick and choose what we want to buy. We have to just make use of whatever comes up for sale in the used sale. So it's quite a good idea. I think quite a few people suggested that as one of the rules, and I think we're going to go with that and see how it goes. Right, that's the combine delivered. I'll turn it off for now. And then what else have we got? So we've got some Ford tractors with a seed drill, and Daggerwin's on the other one with a front loader. I believe the one that I've got here, this is like a grader type thing for removing forest stuff, like shrubs and stuff, clearing the area basically, for clearing and making yards and fields going along on the floor. But we have to own the land to be able to do that. I can't show you it here because we don't own this land. But yeah, that is what this is for. And then obviously on the back we've got the seed drill, small vintage seed drill. I'm not sure if we have any seed. That could be an issue. I don't know whether Daggerwin got access to some seed or not. I think he said he might get some seed, otherwise we can't afford to buy any, but I'm not sure. But we can always sell wood from the trees before we buy the seed, because there's no major rush to get the seed at the moment because we have no field. First thing we need to create a field. But yeah, this machine I think will remove a lot of these shrubs and stuff. Although I think a cultivator might do that anyway, but I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, so Daggerwin's got another tractor. He's got the pallet fork and a trailer. It looks like a flatbed trailer with another cultivator on it. So we can both do a bit of cultivating. Because with the size of cultivators we've got, it's going to take quite a while to create any decent sized field. It's a big job. So yeah. Right, so I think first thing, I'm not sure whether we're both going to do some cultivating or whether Daggerwin's going to do that and I do some tree cutting. I'm not sure.
We should start with a bit of forestry, I think.
Right, Daggerwin says we're going to start with some forestry. Don't know whether that came through on the microphone or not. I think you should have heard that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I heard him say that. I've got my sound turned down quite low though because I don't want the volume to echo through the microphone. That's my concern with it. I haven't got headphones in. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Let me know about this sound business though. It's a shame I can't speak back to him. I would like to. I was trying to, but yeah, it's a bit funny that I don't know why. And this lag on foot, I don't know why it lags on foot so much, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to cut some trees down, I think, and then Daggerwin can load them, or we can both load them onto the trailers and get them sold. So there we go, that's the first tree cut, straight across the track. So I'll get on with this for a bit, and I'll come back to you a bit later on. Right, so we've got 2 of our first trailers loaded up with logs, and I'm going to take them, or Daggerwin's got the other trailer, we're going to take them to the sawmill, and we're going to deliver them here and hopefully sell them for a good profit, I hope. We'll see how much this is worth. Should be room for both of us to get in here actually, I think. One trailer side by side. But he might wait for me to move out of the way first. Yeah, he is doing. Okay, right, so I'll sell this load first. There we go. £8,300 for that, almost £8,400 actually. So I'll move out of the way, Daggerwin's going to sell his load, and we'll see what we get for that. 6,600, yeah, so they were the smaller logs. I was lifting some of the lighter ones on by hand, and then Daggerwin was moving some of the heavier ones with his front loader. So we'll go back and possibly get some more, or we could start doing some cultivating, I'm not sure. It'd be nice to start creating a field at some point, but yeah, we might need to make a bit more money as well.
Is it worth continuing to save up for another cultivator, or shall we start cultivating with the small ones, because we've got the 2 small ones?
Yeah, I think we'll probably make a start with these small ones. Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll start with the small ones first. It's annoying I have to keep typing.
Okay.
Because Daggerwin can speak to me now, but I can't reply. Or I can reply, but he can't hear me. It lets me press the button in, as I said earlier, but it just won't. He can't hear what I say. Which is a bit odd. I don't know why that is, but anyway. So yeah, I'm not sure where we're going to start the field. I don't know where we're going to put the first field. And we can always expand these fields in the future. I think this is the first time will just be a relatively small field initially, and then we'll get it more expanded as time goes on. These tractors are quite loud, aren't they, I think? I can't really tell, but they seem quite loud from what I can hear. I've got my volume quite low down and I can still hear them, so I'm guessing they're fairly loud. I'm not sure which tractor we're going to be cultivating with. I think these are quite underpowered, so we'd probably be better off with a bigger one. I think the Fords have slightly more horsepower than this one, I'm not sure. Yeah, we're going to use the Fords, so Daggerwin's going to go on that one. I will get on this one, and I'll need to drop off the rear weight, because that will be in the place of the cultivators. It's a shame that log fell off. It was a very awkward shaped log though, I suppose. Right, so the cultivators are on this little tiny trailer here, which shows how small the cultivators are. Yeah, I'm not sure whether we're going to be able to get them off the trailer without having to lift them off. I'm not sure. They seem to be attached with straps, I think. Yeah, they are, so they'll need to be unstrapped first. Let's get them unstrapped. Right, let's just see if I can pick this up or not. I don't think I will be able to. Or maybe I will. Okay. But of course I'm stuck on the trailer. So that's not going too well. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, Daggerwin nearly got free there. Okay. I'll try again, but I don't think this is, yeah, I think, typical. Oh, there we go. Got it. That's good. Okay, so I'm not sure where we're going to put this first field. Let's look on the map to see. That's not the map. Where's the map? Here we go. Where we can place this. I don't even know exactly where our land is. There we go. So we're right on the southern edge of it, so we can go anywhere in this area. I'm not sure where the flattest area is, or the best place for a field is at the moment. I think I'll follow Daggerwin because he seems to know where he's going. He knows the map slightly better than I do because he's been setting it up. I haven't. Yeah, these are tiny, tiny cultivators. So I think we will be upgrading fairly soon, but at least we can make a start. So yeah, he's heading up this direction. We can actually use GPS, I think, because even though these tractors would never have had GPS, never would have GPS, it's a feature of the game that we can use it.
We haven't got the mod which allows the cultivator to plough.
Oh, I thought you put that on the server. Right, okay, so he's added the Create Fields mod now, so we can start to create a field. I can't actually use the GPS though yet because the field doesn't exist. You have to have a field to start with before you can use that, so we are going to have to oh, there it is. It actually just pop up, but yeah, I think, well, it might work. We'll see actually. I'll see how this goes. Initially we're doing the headlands though, of course, so we can't really use the GPS for that anyway. I'm just going to follow Daggerwin around the field and see how this goes and see how big he wants to create it. I'm not quite sure what sort of size field this is going to be initially, but we've got the space to do a massive field really, but if it's too big it's going to take forever to drill and to cultivate. His power rake is wider, yeah. Don't know whether it'll work or not. That's to remove like the shrubs and stuff, I think, but the cultivator pretty much does that anyway with the create fields mod, so it's not really essential. But is that working? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm just going to follow him around and let's get this field at least started. But I think we may need to upgrade these cultivators because this is going to take forever. Even with turvers going on this, it's going to take a long time to make any sort of decent sized field. I'm not quite sure what sort of size field he's making here, but I hope he remembers just how small these cultivators are, because this is a bit steep as well, I would say. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'll keep following him, just see what we end up with, and it'd be fun to see what sort of size field we're going to have here. But I think he might need to think about maybe turning around at some point initially, because I'm a bit worried it's going to be too big for the machines that we've got, and we will immediately need a quad track, which we can't afford. Or we can't buy unless it's in the sale either. But yeah, anyway, I'll time lapse some of this field creation work, and we'll see what it looks like when I come back to you. Well, I'm guessing you can probably see the challenge of this series now. As you can see, it's definitely too slow using these two tiny cultivators, and we do need to upgrade. But of course, yeah, the rule is that we cannot buy a new cultivator or any new equipment unless it's in the use sale. So this is the challenge, because we can't upgrade them unless one comes up in the sale, and we're hoping that one will do. We're going to rest and see if anything here gets replaced with a cultivator. But of course, it's not much use if a 9-metre cultivator comes up in the used sale, because we couldn't pull it with this tractor. So yeah, we've got to. It's difficult. We're just waiting for the correct one to come up in the used sale, which may or may not ever happen. Wow, I like the lighting on this tractor. That looks good. It's a really old-fashioned looking lighting. That. Oh, missed a bit there. And it's two-wheel drive as well, which is really struggling with this hill. Not easy at all. And yeah, that's the other issue, of course. If we do upgrade the cultivator, the tractor's probably won't be able to cope with a bigger one. It is a bit of a concern. So I think probably I've made. Daggerwin was going off to do a boundary of the whole land, which I don't think he really needed to do, to be honest. But never mind, he's done that, and I've started creating a field. But even I would admit that this is too big. I didn't really realise when I was going around just how big this field actually is for the size of cultivators we've got. Because I'm used to, being on a bigger map, or not bigger map, but bigger equipment, being more established, shall we say, on a bigger farm. And yeah, yes, I thought that might happen. So it sounds like a huge cultivator. Yes, look at that. Or is that a weeder? No, it's a weeder. But yeah, something like that was bound to come up. But yeah, I'm sure the chances of getting something that's correct size for what we need is fairly small, which means we are kind of stuck with these ones for quite a while. But yeah, it's just one of those things, really. That's the challenge of the series. So I'm not going to complain about it, because that's the challenge we've set ourselves. We've got to limit ourselves to what we have, really, and what we can get. Because a farm that's only just starting out can't just go and buy the biggest equipment, brand new. Have to make use of what comes up used. So yeah, we'll continue. It's going to take a while. Shame I can't use the guidance steering very well. It's showing up on the land that's already been cultivated, but not on the land that hasn't been cultivated yet, because it's technically not a field until it's been cultivated. So I think I'll just turn that off, actually. Don't think there's any rules against using a worker. I think we can use a worker, but not for this, because the field doesn't exist and the worker will only work on a existing field. So yeah. Anyway, I'll continue with Daggerwin. We'll go and see what we can get done today, but we're not going to get this field finished today, that's for sure. We'll just have to keep going next time. Maybe next time we'll get it finished and then we can get it drilled. Because we do have a drill. This is why we've started it. I'm sure you can see now, anyone that was sort of thinking about criticising starting with one of everything, or at least one of the key pieces of equipment, or two of everything I should say, really, because there's two of us. Yeah, that's the reason, because otherwise we could be waiting 20 episodes for a seed drill to come up, for example, or at least a suitable size seed drill. So yeah, we have to start with something, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do anything at all. But the challenge is waiting for the right upgrades to come along in new sales. So yeah, that's the plan. Anyway, I'm going to get on with this now. Right, okay, so we've done a bit of cultivating. We've not created the whole field yet, but we're just looking at a place to build a yard as well. That's the other thing we need to do. As you can see, it's just too slow doing it with the small cultivators, or at least not in one episode. We can split it over multiple episodes, I think, and drill in the spring. But yeah, we're going to leave that for today, I think, and do something else. So we're going to look at this area as a yard, potentially. It's got to be somewhere flat. We've been discussing with Daggerwin about where to put it. Okay, Daggerwin says see what everyone says, so see what you say. Let's see what you say. But yeah, it's got to be semi-flat, and there's not many places on the map which are flat that we actually own, but this seems like a reasonably good place for the yard. So obviously I don't really want to put it where the trees are, because that would mean taking all the trees down, which is going to take forever. So it'd be nice to build somewhere where there's already a flat open area. So yeah, this seems like a good place. I'll just show you where that is if we zoom out a bit. Because we don't own all of this, it's a bit confusing because we don't own all of this area. There's no sort of distinguished boundary, which is I suppose why Daggerwin did a boundary over there. You can just see where he went. That is kind of our boundary on that side. And on this side it is somewhere over there, I think. Roughly in line with where those trees are, I think. Probably not quite as far as the trees. The map on here doesn't seem to really correlate to what we actually see in the game exactly, so that the trees aren't exactly in the right places, but the boundary is somewhere here. And then so we own this bit here basically, which is flat, and then we own the trees. This is amazing. What's this? Really brightly coloured, so poppies and some other plants, is it? Wow, okay, that's impressive. And Daggerwin's tractor's abandoned in the middle of it. Okay. So yeah, this is fairly flat, but it's a bit too tree. Need to get rid of some of the trees. And then down here is not exactly flat, and it's a bit far from the shop as well. No, this isn't flat, so we can't really build that. This is more suitable for fields probably. Although as you saw there, this tractor I'm using is very underpowered, well, not very powerful. It's also only got 2-wheel drive, which doesn't help either. It can't get up the hill. It's really struggling on the hill, so yeah, it'd be nice to upgrade the tractor at some point if one comes into the sale, but I don't think, no, nothing much has changed. The Fiat's gone and it's been replaced with a weeder. Anyway, Daggerwin's finished, so we're going to leave it there and see what you say to what ideas you can come up with for what we should do, and yeah, we'll talk about it next time. So I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one.